There is an ocean of everything you want: success, power, and the most satisfying relationships. It's all available and waiting for you. This is The Zone of Action with your host, Gerald Action Jackson.
Today's podcast is about letting go of lost love. Letting go of lost love. Stop chasing people who do not want you. There is a harsh truth that many people spend years avoiding, and that truth is this: you are wasting an incredible amount of time chasing people who do not want you. That statement may sting, but it is not meant to shame you. It is meant to wake you up. One of my central themes moving from 2025 into 2026 is learning when to say with clarity and confidence, this is not for me. Not everything is supposed to stay in your life forever. Some things are seasonal. Some relationships have an expiration date. And when that season ends, your responsibility is not to force it back to life. Your responsibility is to move forward. We live in a culture that romanticizes persistence in relationships, even when that persistence becomes unhealthy. People are told to fight for love at all costs, to never give up, to prove devotion. What is rarely discussed is discernment. Knowing when to stop. Knowing when something is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. Knowing when walking away is not quitting, but choosing yourself. I see far too many people chasing relationships built on unrequited love or trying to revive connections that have clearly run their course. They are not in love with the present version of the relationship. They are in love with the memory of what it once was. They are chasing nostalgia, familiarity, and validation. And in doing so, they miss opportunities to experience real, mutual, healthy love. When someone no longer wants to be with you, continuing to pursue them is not romantic. It is ego-driven. It is rooted in pride, insecurity, and fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of rejection. Fear of having to rebuild identity outside of the relationship. That fear keeps people stuck in cycles that drain their energy and erode their self-respect. Let me be clear about something that many people struggle to accept. A relationship does not define you. You define you. Your worth is not determined by who chooses you or who walks away. Your value does not increase because someone stays or decrease because someone leaves. You were whole before them, and you remain whole after them. That does not mean breakups are easy. Emotions are real. Attachments form. Memories matter. There's nothing wrong with grieving the end of something that once meant a great deal to you. But grief and obsession are not the same thing. Processing pain is healthy. Chasing someone who has made it clear they are done is not. Often when people try to go back to relationships that are over, it has very little to do with love. It has everything to do with ego. It is about trying to prove something, trying to win, trying to avoid feeling rejected, trying to rewrite the ending so it hurts less. But the truth is, forcing something that has ended only delays healing. It does not prevent pain. It extends it. I have seen many men remain in relationships that no longer serve them simply because they are afraid of being alone. They do not want to face the quiet. They do not want to rebuild their lives. They do not want to confront their own shortcomings or sit with their thoughts. So they stay. They settle. They tolerate dysfunction because it feels safer than solitude. What those men fail to realize is that solitude is often where growth happens. Being alone for a season can sharpen your self-awareness. It can help you reconnect with your goals, your discipline, and your sense of purpose. Some of the strongest versions of yourself are formed in periods where no one else is around to distract you. I once had a conversation with a man who was frustrated that his life was not moving forward. He claimed he was chasing his goals, but everything felt stalled. As we talked, it became clear that his biggest distraction was his relationship. The relationship had ended because he cheated and got caught. He wanted to know how to fix it. He wanted advice on how to win her back. I told him the truth that many people avoid. Even if she forgives you, she will never forget. You will always be watched. You will always be questioned. You will always be a suspect. That is no way to live. A relationship built on constant suspicion and surveillance is not a healthy relationship. Sometimes the right move is to accept the consequences of your actions, learn from them, and move forward with maturity. Taking responsibility does not always mean staying. Sometimes it means walking away with humility and doing better next time. I have also seen people remain in toxic relationships because they are more concerned with not losing than with actually winning. They stay because they do not want someone else to have their partner. They stay because they do not want to feel replaced. They stay because the idea of losing feels worse than living in misery. There was a moment on a television show where a woman explained why she stayed with a husband who had cheated dozens of times and had a child with another woman. Her reason was simple. She did not want the other woman to win. But what exactly was the prize? A man who repeatedly betrayed trust and showed no respect for his family is not a reward. Even if the other woman ended up with him, she would never fully trust him either. That is not victory. That is shared dysfunction. Staying in a bad relationship out of competition or pride is one of the most damaging choices a person can make. You are not protecting your dignity. You are sacrificing it. When someone clearly tells you they do not want to be with you, trying to change their mind is not persistence. It is denial. It is refusing to accept reality. And denial often leads people down dangerous paths. I have seen situations escalate to the point where legal action was necessary just to create distance. One young man became so obsessed with a woman he briefly dated that she had to seek a restraining order. Instead of respecting the boundary, he violated it. He was arrested. That arrest is now part of his permanent record. That restraining order follows him when he applies for housing, when he applies for jobs, when his background is checked. All of that damage stemmed from refusing to accept that someone no longer wanted him. That is the real cost of obsession. It is not just emotional. It is practical. It affects your future in tangible ways. I've heard people say things that should immediately raise concern. Statements like, if I cannot have her, nobody can, or I do not know what I would do if she moved on. Those are not expressions of love. They are expressions of insecurity, control, and fear. They signal emotional instability, not devotion. Healthy love does not require possession. It does not require control. It does not require desperation. Healthy love is mutual, respectful, and grounded in choice. This may sound overly simple, but simplicity does not mean it is wrong. If they do not want you, move on. Believe what people show you. Believe what they tell you. Trying to convince someone to choose you is not a foundation for a healthy relationship. I say this as someone who has let relationships go, even when feelings were present, because they no longer brought peace. Peace is one of the most underrated elements of a successful relationship. Many people do not even know what a peaceful relationship looks like. They grew up around chaos. So conflict feels normal. Drama feels familiar. Constant tension feels expected. Conflict will happen in any relationship. Disagreements are unavoidable. But there is a difference between conflict and toxicity. There is a difference between growth-oriented tension and emotional warfare. There is a difference between healthy communication and constant anger. When a relationship becomes a source of anxiety, stress, and emotional exhaustion more often, then it becomes a source of support and stability. It is no longer serving you. And staying in something that does not serve you is not loyalty. It is self-abandonment. Walking away from a bad relationship is not failure. It is clarity. It is choosing yourself. It is understanding that your future matters more than clinging to a past that no longer exists. When you let go of someone who does not want you, you create space. Space for healing, space for growth, space for someone who sees your value without needing to be convinced. Space for peace. Holding on to something that no longer wants you is not strength. It is delusion. Strength is accepting reality, even when it hurts, and still moving forward. You are not behind because something ended. You are not broken because someone walked away. You are not unworthy because a relationship did not last. You are simply being redirected. Every ending carries information. Every loss carries a lesson. And every time you choose to let go instead of chase, you reinforce your self-respect. The most freeing thing you can do is stop trying to be chosen by someone who has already made their decision. Choose yourself instead. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, JEROLDJAX, on Facebook, Gerald Action Jackson, and Zone of Action. Check out the website, GeraldJackson.com. Happiness starts with you. Not with your relationship, not with your job, not with your money, but with you in the zone of